Hello everyone, my name is Jayendra Reddy and I'm a CSC data science student at Iare Hyderabad. In this video, I'm going to explain about philosophy of economics. So, what is a philosophy of economics? Philosophy of economics consists of inquiries concerning, that is, rational choice, the appraisal of economic outcomes, institutions and processes, and the ontology of economic phenomena and the possibilities of acquiring knowledge of them. Although these inquiries overlap in many ways, it is useful to divide philosophy of economics in this way into three subject matters, which can be regarded respectively as branches of action theory, ethics, or normative social and political philosophy, and philosophy of science. What is economics? Both the definition and the precise domain of economics are subjects of controversy within philosophy of economics. At first glance, the difficulties in defining economics may not appear serious. Economics is, after all, concerned with aspects of the production, exchange, distribution, and consumption of commodities and services. But this claim and the returns and the terms in it contains are vague, and it is arguable that economics is relevant to a great deal more. The emergence of economics and of economics. So, philosophical reflection on economics is ancient, but the conception of the economy as a distinct object of study dates back only to the 18th century. Aristotle addresses some problems that most would recognize as pertaining to economics, mainly as problems concerning how to manage a household. Scholastic philosophers addressed ethical questions concerning economic behavior and the econometric fiduciary, that is, the taking of interest on money. With the increasing importance of trade and of nation states in the early modern period, mercantilist philosophers and pamphletists were largely concerned with the balance of trade and the regulation of the currency. There was an increasing recognition of the complexities of the financial management of the state and of the possibility that the way that the state taxed and acted influenced the production of wealth. Contemporary economics and its several schools. Contemporary economics is diverse. There are many schools and many branches. Even so-called orthodox or mainstream economics has many variants. Some mainstream economics is highly theoretical, though most of it is applied and relies on rudimentary theory. Theoretical and applied work can be distinguished as microeconomics or macroeconomics. There is also a third branch, econometrics, which is devoted to the empirical estimation, elaboration, and to some extent testing of microeconomic and macroeconomic models. But see, Summers 1991 and Hoover 1994. Six central methodological problems. Although the different branches of schools of economics raise a wide variety of epistemological and ontological issues concerning economics, six problems have been central to methodological reflection in this philosophical sense concerning economics. First one is positive versus normative economics. Policymakers look to economics to guide policy, and it seems inevitable that even the most esoteric issues in theoretical economics may bear on some people's material interests. The extent to which the economics bears on and may be influenced by normative concerns raises methodological questions about the relationships between a positive science concerning facts and a normative inquiry into values and what ought to be. Most economists and methodologists believe that there is a reasonably clear distinction between facts and values, between what is and what ought to be. And they believe that most of economics should be regarded as a positive science that helps policymakers choose means to accomplish their ends, though it does not bear on the choice of ends itself. Second one is reasons versus causes. Orthodox theoretical microeconomics is as much a theory of rational choices as it is a theory that explains and predicts economic outcomes. Since virtually all economic theories that discuss individual choices take individuals as acting for reasons and thus in some way rational, questions about the role that we use of rationality and reasons should play in economics are of general importance. Economists are typically concerned and with the aggregate results of individual choices rather than with the actions of particular individuals. But the theories, in fact, offer both casual explanations of for why individuals choose as they do and accounts of the reasons for their choices. Third one is social scientific naturalism. Of all the social sciences, economics most closely resembles the natural sciences. Economic theories have been axiomatized, and articles and books of economics are full of theorems. Of all the social sciences, only economics boasts an Ersatz Nobel Prize. Economics is thus a test case for those concerned with the extent of the similarities between the natural and social sciences. Fourth one, abstraction, idealization, and ceteris paribus clauses in economics. Economics raises questions concerning the legitimacy of severe abstraction and idealization. For example, mainstream economic models often stipulate that everyone is perfectly rational and has perfect information, or that commodities are infinitely divisible. Such claims are exaggerations, and they are clearly false. Other schools of economics may not employ idealizations that are this extreme, but there is no way to do economics if one is not willing to simplify drastically and abstract from many complications. Fifth one, causation is in economics and econometrics. Many important generalizations in economics are causal claims. For example, the law of demand asserts that a price increase will, ceteris paribus, diminish the quantity demand. It does not merely assert an inverse relationship between price and demand. When demand increases for some other reason, such as change in taste, price increases. Econometricians have also been deeply concerned with the possibilities of determining causal relations from statistical evidence and with the relevance of causal relations to the possibility of consistent estimation of parameter values. Since concerns about the consequences of alternative policies are so central to economics, causal inquiry is unavoidable. Structure and strategy of economics, paradigms and research programs. This is the last one. In the wake of work of Kuhn and Lakatos, philosophers are much more aware of and interested in the larger theoretical structures that unify and guide research within particular research traditions. Since many theoretical projects or approaches in economics are systematically unified, they pose questions about what guides research, and many economists have applied the work of Kuhn and Lakatos in the attempt to shed light on the overall structure of economics. Bomber 1977, Block 1976, Machi and Block 1991, Bronfen and Brenner 1971, Coates 1969, Dillard 1978, Hans 1985b, Hausmann 1992, CS6, Hutchison 1978, Latsis 1976, Geladieu 1978, Kunin and Weaver 1971, Stanfield 1974, Weintraub 1985, Orlan 1972. Whether these applications have been successful in controversial, but the comparison of the structure of economics to Kuhn's and Lakato's scheme served to highlight distinctive features of economics and may have contributed to some of the changes that economics has undergone. Inexactness, ceteris paribus clauses, tendencies, unrealistic assumptions, and models. As mentioned in the previous section, the most important methodological issue concerning economic involves a very considerable simplification, idealization, and abstraction that characterizes economic theory, and the concern doubts the features of economics raise concerning whether economics is well supported. Claims such as agents prefer larger commodity bundles to smaller commodity bundles raise serious questions because if they are interpreted as universal generalizations, they are false. And philosophy of science has traditionally supposed that science is devoted to the discovery of genuine laws, that is, true universal generalizations, even though it is false that everyone always prefer larger commodity bundles to smaller. The generalization seems informative and useful. Classical economics and method of priori. The first extended reflections on economic methodology appear in the work of Nassau Sr. 1836 and John Stuart Mill 1836. Their essays must be understood against the background of both the economic theory and the philosophy of science and their times. Smith's economics, to which it owed a great deal, and modern economics, the classical economics of the middle decades of the 19th century, traced economic regularities to choices of individuals facing social and natural constraints. But as compared to Smith, more reliance was placed on severely simplified models. David Ricardo's Principles of Political Economy, 1917, draws of portrait in which wages above the subsistence level lead to increases in the population, which in turn require more intensive agriculture or cultivation of inferior land. Friedman and the defense of unrealistic assumptions. Although some contemporary philosophers have argued that Mill's method a priori is largely defensible. Bhaskar 1975, Cartwright 1999, and Hausmann 1992. By the middle of the 20th century, Mill's reviews appear to many economists out of step with their understanding of the contemporary philosophy of science. Without studying Mill's text carefully, it was easy for economics to misunderstand his terminology and to regard his method as priori as opposed to empiricism. Models. A century ago, economics talked of their works in terms of principles, laws, and theories. That language has not dissipated altogether. Economists still talk of game theory, consumer choice theory, or the law of demand. But nowadays, the standard intellectual tool or form in economics is a model. Econometricians speak of models and structures. Economists are more comfortable describing the axioms concerning a rational choice as constituting a model of rational choice than as delineating a theory of rational choice. Many of the most distinguished commentators on models regard them as fictional words, whose study informs understanding of actual phenomena. Freak to 2010, creating models is world making. In this view, in their view, economists are unable to investigate how causal factors would operate in the absence of interference by constructing models. This is fictional economics, in which the interferers are absent. Pascali Maki maintains that models are experiments are models. In 2005, Dani Rodrik in 2015 argues that economics consists of a collection of models, and that doing economics consists in selecting or customizing a model from this collection. Conclusion. The frontiers between economics and philosophy concerned with methodology, rationality, ethics, and normative social and political philosophy are buzzing with activity. This activity is diverse and concerned with very different questions. Although many of those are related, philosophy of economics are not a single unified enterprise. It is a collection of separate inquiries linked to one another by connections among the questions and by the dominating influence of mainstream economic models and techniques. Thank you.